The Rock Johnson went from broke to legendary. Here's how he did it, and how you can too. Picture this: a kid born into chaos, poverty knocking at the door, a family on the edge, and a future that looked like it was already written in stone. A kid who was told he'd never amount to much. A kid who could have given up, but didn't. He grew up to become a force of nature, a man who turned pain into power, struggle into strength, and dreams into destiny. His name, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. But let me tell you something. Dwayne's story isn't just about fame, muscles, or box office millions. It's about you. It's about what happens when you decide to take that first step, even when the odds are stacked against you. Because here's the truth. The Rock wasn't born a legend. He built himself into one, brick by sweaty brick.
The thing that has worked for me is to remember the hard times. So, and I'm sure you guys all have your processes. And again, I'm going to tell you what's worked for me. So before a big movie comes out, before back in the days when I was wrestling with WWE, a WrestleMania match, anything big that would happen, I would always take a moment and I'd just remind myself, all right, I was evicted when I was 14. We were kicked off the island. We couldn't live in Hawaii. Had no place to live. A lot of shit happened then when I moved to Nashville. I was arrested multiple times by the time I was 16 years old. Like, I remember that. If I were playing on this team, which my skills are, what's that term? Oh, the shits. So I never play. But before I lace up, before I get on the court, before I play in these big games, before I go to the Staples Center, where history is there, those are historic walls there at the Staples Center. I would remember that. And it allows me then to be present in the moment and understand, holy shit, the stuff I have around me right now, this is the shit that I dreamed of when I was a kid. I am here. I played for University of Miami, played with great teams.
Dwayne grew up in Honolulu, Hawaii in the 1970s. His dad, Rocky Johnson, was a pro wrestler, tough as nails, but the family barely scraped by. Evicted at 14. Arrested multiple times as a teen. He was a big kid with a bigger chip on his shoulder, running with the wrong crowd, fighting battles he didn't need to fight. Life could have ended there. Most people would have folded. But Dwayne, he had a flicker of something inside him, a spark, and that spark was enough. But what makes someone rise from rock bottom? It's not just about talent or luck. It's about deciding that your past won't define your future. Dwayne could have let his circumstances break him. Instead, he made a choice to outwork everyone around him. He didn't wait for an opportunity. He became the opportunity. He started training harder, showing up earlier, pushing himself beyond limits no one else could see. Because when the world counted him out, he made sure to count himself in. He got a shot at football, a full scholarship to the University of Miami. He was good, damn good, but then bam, injuries hit. His dream of the NFL, gone. Depression sank in. He said himself he was down to $7 in his pocket. $7 became his rock bottom moment. Imagine that. $7 to your name, no plan, no path. What would you do? But here's where the magic happens. Dwayne didn't wait for the world to save him. He took that first step. He looked in the mirror and said, I'm not done yet. He turned to wrestling, following his dad's footsteps, but carving his own path. They called him Rocky Maivia at first, and the crowd, they hated him. Booed him out of the ring. Imagine stepping into the biggest opportunity of your life, only to be rejected by the very people you were trying to win over. That's what happened to Dwayne. The audience didn't just dislike him, they despised him. But did he quit? He reinvented himself. He became The Rock, the people's champion. He turned rejection into fuel, and he lit the world on fire. Soon the boos turned into cheers. That's the power of reinvention. That's the power of refusing to settle for mediocrity. And then, Hollywood came knocking. From wrestling rings to red carpets, he didn't just walk through doors, he kicked them down. Today, he's one of the biggest stars on the planet. But here's the secret they don't tell you. It wasn't luck. It wasn't talent alone. It was work, grit. That first step he took when he had nothing left to lose, and every step after that. Dwayne doesn't just talk about hard work, he lives it. His daily routine, insane. He wakes up before the sun rises, works out for hours before most people hit snooze, and outworks everyone in the room. He follows a philosophy called the hardest worker in the room, because no matter how successful he gets, he never lets comfort slow him down. While others make excuses, he makes progress, and that's why he keeps winning. Think about your own life. How many times have you felt like quitting? How many times have you let fear stop you? The truth is, we all have moments where we feel like we're stuck, but here's what separates those who make it from those who don't. The ones who make it take action anyway. Fear, it's not a wall. It's a test. A test to see if you're willing to push past it. Now visualize your $7 moment. That point where you feel like you've hit the bottom? Maybe you're there right now. Dreams on hold, fear whispering in your ear, telling you it's too late. But listen to me. It's not over. Dwayne Johnson didn't become The Rock because he was handed a golden ticket. He became The Rock because he dared to move when the world told him to stay still. Here's your challenge. Take that first step today. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's a phone call. Maybe it's a push-up. Maybe it's writing down that dream you've buried deep. But hear me. Action is the antidote to fear. Dwayne took his $7 and built an empire. What can you build with what you've got right now? The Rock story isn't just inspiration, it's proof. Proof that you can rise. Proof that the best version of yourself isn't some far-off fantasy, it's waiting for you to show up. So what are you waiting for? Lace up your boots, step into the ring of your own life, and fight for it. Because if Dwayne Johnson can go from $7 to changing the world, then you can take that first step and become unstoppable.